Hello everyone, this is Shama with Girls and Geese. We're here for yet another session of Ask a Black Belt. If you guys haven't tuned in for these before, this is an awesome opportunity for you to ask questions to our black belt that is on. Today we have Sophia Nordeno, and she will be answering your questions. If you don't know who she is, she has been tearing up the jiu-jitsu scene for some time now. Rising to the top. And we should have her on here in a second. Hey! There you
Hello!
are.
We did it.
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Excellent. I'm excited to have you on today and get
Well,
some.
my pleasure.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
So, my name is Sophia Nordeno, and I am originally from Sweden, and I've been training jiu-jitsu for almost 15 years now. I've been a black belt for maybe three and a half years. Yeah, 3.5 years now. I am originally up from the north in Sweden, but I lived my adult life and did most of my jiu-jitsu down in a little town called Uppsala, close to Stockholm.
Mm-hmm.
So my heart academy is always going to be Hilti Uppsala, which is where I basically trained most of my career.
Excellent. So was it jiu-jitsu that brought you to the States, or was it something else?
Definitely jiu-jitsu. I I actually came here with two of my friends to do just a training vacation, so to speak.
Uh-huh.
And we ended up in San Diego, and I just realized that shit, this is paradise. And there's so many academies and so many styles. So I found a way to stay, and here I am, 3 years later.
Excellent. So tell us a little bit about the different. What did you find as being some of the biggest difference in your academy back home and jiu-jitsu in San Diego or in the States as a whole?
Well, first of all, Sweden is such a small country, so we only had maybe like every other like a little town had an academy, and jiu-jitsu isn't that developed in Sweden. I guess it's getting better and better now. When I was home last time, I could see that it's popping up more and more academies, and the level is coming up. But most of the people are just recreational trainers. They just want to do a little jiu-jitsu that they saw on YouTube. Which is how I started too. We just did arm bars and triangles forever until we got experts on that, and then we went out in the world. But just to that, have professionals that is like athletes for like as a full-time job here. That's nothing that's like ever existed in Sweden. So coming over here and seeing that it was possible to actually make a living of just doing jiu-jitsu and doing what I'm passionate about, that's definitely the biggest difference.
Excellent. What is the women's scene like back home? Were you I imagine if it's still developing, you were one of few women that were doing it during your time. How was it when you started, and what has that grown since you started and you've gone back home?
So when I started, we were about 3 females who was actively competing. So there were always me and my dear friend Matilda and 2 other ladies that showed up and did open weight together. And then we went back home to our different towns, and we kept training with all the boys. But as time grew by and I moved to a little bigger city, we started actually a girls team. So we were maybe 10
That's
girls.
good.
10 years ago. And they're still going strong. And every time I visit, I always see new people and new faces. So slowly it's growing. I think Sweden has 6 black belts, female black belts right now. So I was one of I think 5, the 5th one. And Maxine Tullin, always a pleasure to train with her as well. She's also from Sweden, and she got her black belt just before me. And she's also living here. She used to live here in San Diego with Leticia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. How did you get into jiu-jitsu, for being something that's not common, that you looked on YouTube to find? How did you decide that this grappling with people is something that you want to do?
So it actually is a funny story. I used to do competitive horseback riding, so I was always competing in dressage and a little bit of obstacle courses. And our teacher said that we had to get in better shapes because we were all we were weak and we were a little chubby. We just wanted to ride our ponies. So my friend was like, "Hey, I know this is a wrestling club, like a fight club is going on in a basement, and there's a bunch of boys." And remember, I was 16. They're like a bunch of boys, and it's super cool, and it's like hardcore training. So, but she didn't want to go alone, so I was like, "Oh, let's try it." So we went, and I remember the first training, I should you not, I was just like, I'm never coming back to this. It was mayhem. We double-legged each other, like back and forth. I had no idea what we were doing. My body hurt so bad after the first class. But I had the teacher there was really good. His name is Morten, and he actually came up and is like, "This is gonna suck so much in the beginning because you guys are the only females. First of all, you're the smallest people here, and give it 5 times. Like if you don't like it after 5 sessions, then that's cool. Then you tried it, and then you can leave." And we kept coming back and coming back, and my friend quit, and some of the guys were like, "You're gonna be a competition in the next city. Do you wanna come and join?" So I did, and after that, I was just like, "Oh, I'm not gonna do this horseback riding anymore. I'm just gonna do wrestling now." So that's how I got into it.
Excellent. So you've been competing a lot since you've come to the States. You know, you've racked up a lot of medals and accomplishments. What is one of those moments or one of those accomplishments that stand out the most to you? Something that is maybe the most meaningful to you?
I gotta say, it's actually, I would say doing ADCC in Brazil was my biggest like accomplishments. Even though I lost my first fight against Anna, who won the whole division after that, but just to win the trials, to go there and be like a part of that whole big organization and being treated like we're actually athletes, not, "Oh, let's come here and all the females go in the corner because we don't know when you guys are gonna start." Like suddenly they picked us up at the airport, they paid for the tickets, we got paid to be there, after that kind of experience, that's when I also got even more like, damn, if I can do this for a living, like they do here in Brazil and in US with all the super fights, that's where I want to like go towards. Like that's what I want to do. Tournaments and all, love it as well, but just to have that bigger, more, I don't know, fan-based competitions, that's just like, it's such a feeling to walk in there and just like, oh my God, they're all looking at me right now.
No.
That's addictive.
So you guys, if you have questions, chime in. Otherwise, I will just keep continuing to talk to Sophia, and you get to enjoy the conversation. So speaking of goals, what are some of the goals that you have moving forward? You know, you've accomplished a lot, but where do you see this going? Maybe academy ownership, or I know that's kind of a transition for a lot of women that love to teach.
Well, right now, just before COVID hit, I was teaching at different academies, like having different classes, women classes, privates, and then COVID came and kind of shut down everything. So right now, the goal that I have is just to kind of slowly get back into teaching and teaching at different academies, because I feel that even though it's good to be at one place for sure to grow and have all the support, just to go around in different styles and get other perspective as well is super important. Hi, Daniela. I see you joined. That's one of my teammates.
So what are your thoughts on, oh, go ahead, continue your thoughts, sorry.
So just for now, like the biggest goal is to, get back into teaching, get people back on the mats. And even though I know we're going through this whole pandemic shit and everything, just to, I don't know, we just gotta slowly get back into our normal routine, and then maybe eventually one day be maybe a co-owner of something bigger. Like I don't think I want to have my own academy. I don't know, I'm feeling a little bit too shy for that shit, but
that's a big
I would love to be a part of it. No, definitely.
Absolutely. Do you have you ever thought about going back home and kind of furthering the sport now that you have all these accomplishments and you have this experience? Have you ever thought about going back home and bringing what you've learned in the States and all over back to your people?
To my people.
To your people.
Last Christmas, I went home and had Christmas with my family, and then I did a little seminar tour. So I actually traveled around in Sweden,
Mm-hmm.
and had a bunch of seminars at schools that just popped up, and I wasn't around, and some oldie goldies that I haven't met in a while since I moved over here. So maybe that would be a good concept, because I do love San Diego, and I don't know if I ever want to move back. Who knows? You should never say never.
Yeah.
But for right now, just to go back and forth a little bit and kind of bring back what I learned here and how my lifestyle is too, as well, for sure. That's probably how I want to do it right now. And then the future will hold whatever happens.
And I'm sure this, you can't beat the San Diego weather comparatively.
No, dude. Right now, when I drove over here, I'm at the academy right now. The sunset was so pretty, and I was like, we don't have these kind of sunsets at home. Like, there's just darkness, and you never see it like this. So pretty.
I could imagine, and the warmth too. I'm sure.
Yeah, that's right. No, they have snow at home right now. I am not jealous. Not jealous at all.
So I always like to ask people this, because everybody's had such a different journey, right? And you have access to different people and different coaches. What is some of the, and I know we get a lot of advice, but what is some of the most meaningful, one of the top maybe meaningful advice that you've gotten from a coach or a teammate or anybody that's related to jiu-jitsu, that something that maybe stuck with you that you transfer on to your students?
I think I gotta say, I remember this from one of my teachers when I started, or when I've been training for 2 or 3 years. I just got my blue belt, and he said he just like said it like, I just translated it from Swedish in my head. Just a second. If you can keep the consistency, you're gonna get rewarded, so to speak. So it's all about just, even though it's gonna suck every now and then, it's gonna be competition trainings where people are gonna try to kill you. There's gonna be other times when you have nothing and you can just chill out. It's all about keep showing up. Not only for yourself, but for your teammates, because somebody else is going to be in a binder or needs your help or needs your body, needs your knowledge. So consistency is key. Basically what he was telling me as he hugged me and gave me my blue belt. Good old Walker. No.
So being now in San Diego and being a part of basically what we all call or consider, like, more or less, right, the jiu-jitsu mecca of a lot of the Brazilians have come here from Brazil. What is that like? Like, what was that like initially when you first came over, going from maybe coming from a community where it's growing and it's up and coming, and then coming to San Diego where, again, it's just like you throw a rock and you hit a jiu-jitsu academy. And not just a jiu-jitsu academy, top level jiu-jitsu academy.
Yeah.
What was that like for you?
Well, I remember the first time because I was so overwhelmed because we sat with all the schedules, and I'm just like, damn, we can go here at 9, and we can go here at noon, and then we can train at like 3 p.m. over here. And then we have a night class over here. And yeah, with all these like badass people that has been training forever, first of all, and all the different styles with like a little bit more of nogi in that corner, and then old school jiu-jitsu over here, and then more self-defense over there. It's definitely, it's overwhelming. And right now, like when I think about it, it's a blessing, And I don't know, maybe I have a little privilege too, being a female and a higher belt, but I scooched around everywhere, and I still do. Like, I just knock on the door and I show up and like, can I train here? Like, can I get some in of your, can I train with those guys? Because I know he's really good at bolos or whatever. And I know these guys are good at leg locks. And yeah, just that is such, it's such a crazy diversity here.
So, back, and I'm sure you're familiar, and I don't know if it was like that in Sweden, but, especially back in Brazil, and I started training about 17 years ago in the States, and it was considered a no-no for you to go train anywhere else. It was considered a no-no for you to leave your team, even if maybe it wasn't a healthy environment for you. What is your, what advice would you give to somebody who as far as cross training? Is that something you think that's important that everybody should try at least? Or what have you gotten from it, and what advice would you give to somebody who's maybe, kind of newer, who's never stepped outside of their academy before?
I would say I think it's super important for development. If you want to go and you want to grow fast, then going to other places is the key, because you're going to always get yourself tested, because you get comfortable in your home gym and you get comfortable with the people around here. And of course, that's also a big part, though, that you always feel like I have a home. This is my people. But going to start, I will always say to people, go to open mats, and you don't even have to do a round. Sometimes you can just sit at the wall and chit chat with people or watch jiu-jitsu. Or just look and you see, like, this looks like somebody is going like in the pace that I want to go with. Perfect, I'll go with you. And then slowly get into that. And then open mat too is such a big forum when we can all share knowledge, and there's usually no politics. And especially here in San Diego, when there's so many different schools and there's so much competition for the students, that everybody's basically open for open mats, especially before COVID. You can go anywhere. You can still do a little bit. ML Keenan opened up their open mat again. We have open mat on Sundays or open classes where people can come join. Because, there's so many different kinds of people in the gym too. You want to find where you are the most settled too. Especially now after COVID, and I know a lot of gyms closed down or had to, unfortunately, maybe shut down a little bit longer than they were expected. I always tell people, go shop around. Like, there's, just because you have all your friends over here, maybe you should go and try over there and see. Maybe they have a better, whatever vibe. Do you want to compete? Maybe what are you looking for? And then find what works for you.
No, I completely agree. Like, anytime I get like messages or somebody asks me, hey, I'm thinking about starting jiu-jitsu, can you recommend some places to train? And I'm like, go to all of them.
Yeah, exactly.
Go to all of them.
Right?
Because when I started and when you started, we didn't have choices, right? There were only like a few of them. So you want to learn jiu-jitsu, you just go to that one academy, and that was it, So I think that is the product of the growth of jiu-jitsu, is now we have choices, whereas before there were no choices. You want to learn jiu-jitsu, there's only one style that you're going to learn. And so no, I'm absolutely with you right there. I know, all of us, especially you, being out there on the competition scene and teaching and, just being a woman black belt. What kind of role model do you want to be for these little girls? Because there's lots of little girls, right? Lots of dads, lots of parents. What are something that you want them, or that you hope to walk away with, that they get from, just taking a class from you, or just interaction? Like,
knowing the possibilities and knowing that your body you can do so much more than you think. Because I have a lot of people coming into and they're like, I'm out of shape, or they talk to me and they're like, yeah, I'm gonna start jiu-jitsu when I'm like have done some cardio. I need to do this weight first. No, hell no. Sorry for my language. This is the time to start and to try it. Because you know what? We all lift each other up too. We're not here to kill you in the gym. We're here to make you better, and then we grow together. And whatever your goals are, we'll set the pace for you, or we'll help you to set the pace. And then you can start to figuring out like, oh, I can do this. That means maybe I can do that. Do I want to compete? Oh, I'll sign up for my first tournament. You know, it's so much self-growth in stepping in on the mat. So, yeah, I cannot, yeah, what do you say? Push that more, that it's going to make you a better person, a more confident person. And especially like being a girl these days, times are rough outside. Like shit goes down every day, and you have to know how to defend yourself a little bit, or at least how to move and know that no one is gonna mess with me. I'm not gonna walk around like all shy. Like I'm gonna come in and I'm owning this room, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah.
I agree. No,
And you get that in the dojo, like, and you feel it, like the whole energy is just like that.
yeah. But there is like, I think there's statistics out there from something I read a while back that, you know, it's a lot, like you are less likely to be a victim if you how you hold yourself, like they prey, like predators prey more so on those that have that kind of like, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
yeah, as opposed to if you walk around like and you have that confidence. Once you learn how to defend yourself, that confidence kind of goes hand in hand, and just by doing that you become less of a target, I guess is the word, because
definitely.
now you have that confidence that goes along with it. So one of the questions that I have um, for you is, you know, you're out there competing. You know, I've heard mixed things from people. And some people are like, I get so nervous. I hate competing. And then some people are like, I love competing. I thrive. Where do you fall on that spectrum?
Well, it's a love-hate relationship for sure. So usually always the day before, especially, that's when I start the whole doubting myself. Like, what am I doing this
Oh,
for? Oh my God, what did I sign up for? Why am I doing this? But then, you know what? The day you step out, the day you're of the competition and you wake up and everything is organized and you know, like, this is the time to thrive. This is now I'm going to show up and I'm going to do this, whatever, super fight or tournament. That feeling is so also empowering. Like it doesn't really matter, like win or lose, it's 50% chance, like the gamble, like it can go red or they can go black. You never know, somebody might have a great day or they didn't sleep at all and you're being the one that's going to win today. But in the end, to just knowing, again, if we go back a little bit to that, what can jiu-jitsu do for you when you step in on the mat? Like, no, it can make you feel this, ooh, I am in control of this, like I'm here, I'm doing this. That's the biggest motivator for me, that I'm always like, damn, I did so good here today. Or, oh, I have to work on these little details and that's going to make me better. But you know what? I stepped up and I kept to my game plan and that was all that mattered today. And that really is my like, oh, what do you say? Feeds the fire? Is that a word? Feeds the fire.
do you think that competition is something that everybody should at least try in their jiu-jitsu journey? I know some people are just like, I just want to train, or some people are their focus is really self-defense, but is a tournament, going and competing, is that something that you think or you recommend that somebody at least try?
It all depends on the person in front of you. I don't think there has to be a mandatory thing. Again, sometimes just to go into class and have a little competition class could be enough. There's a lot of risk going into a tournament too, because you don't know who you're fighting and stuff happens all the time. So if you feel the need to like, no, I want to try it out. But if you also feel like, I'm more comfortable in the setting of the people that I know and training with people that knows how to move with me, that's fine too. Jiu-jitsu doesn't have to be a competition. It's, for me, it's definitely a lifestyle. The competitions is that extra icing on the cake.
Is
And
it
you get to show yourself off a little bit, you get attention, which is also nice, for sure.
what has been oh, I had a question, I lost it. Ah.
Well,
that first brain fart on this segment.
it happens. It happens. It's Friday afternoon, girl. We got
Oh
all
yeah,
okay.
I'm ready for the weekend. What, so do you think that having a team of women and training, well, not even having, do you think that it's important for women, or have you found in your journey, let me rephrase that, have you found in your journey that's important to train with women? Or is that something that, you know, is not really important, or you don't see any direct benefit from?
You know what? When I moved over here, I always felt like it doesn't matter if I train with boys or girls or whatever, because I was a little bit more selfish. Is that the training is for me and how I'm gonna grow, like how I'm gonna get better at jujitsu. Um, but then I came over here and I started to see all of these great, first of all, black belt females who's just thriving in their at Letitia especially. She has such a great girls team over there, and how they kind of empowered each other to grow. Just by having Letitia as their leader, but also having Bia in the gym, who just kept going, 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 and showing that it's possible. I actually changed my mind, and now I feel that it helps me out so much, and to know that they always have my back.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're never alone. It doesn't matter. Like, boys will always be boys. They'll be like, oh, whatever, you do good. But girls, I don't know. I just feel more connected. And I know that when they come and hug me after a tournament or after a good class, they really mean it. And they're like, no, you inspire me to be better. Like, you inspire me to train that hard. I see how you're focusing when you're training, and in your roles, how you're thinking, and how your lifestyle is all around jiu-jitsu as well. Like, it's like our own little community in the community. Like, we girls, we all come from different backgrounds for sure, but here in jiu-jitsu, we're all together and we're all coming up together as well, getting stronger, getting better self-esteem, learning how to live a better life for yourself and not take any bullshit, So right now, my opinion is definitely train with girls just for the sake of having that feeling that we're even Stevens here. Like, we're similar people. We're not the guys. We're PMSy and we're grumpy sometimes, there's differences, and we can all come together like, yeah, I have a fucking shitty day today, but you know what? You being here today helped me to kind of get my shit together and go. And I think that's super important.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. No,
Yeah.
I completely, I mean, obviously I agree with you. Look at what I do.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
no.
wouldn't be here talking to you if I didn't believe in
Yeah.
that.
No, but I'm super passionate about it. Like, again, I always thought that before, like, no, I'll just train with the boys. I'll be stronger. But you know what? It's not always about the physical attributes. It's so much more than getting stronger and stronger. It's like, it's the mental part too. Like, no, they're there and they're supporting me no matter what.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big deal.
Absolutely. And I'm sure kind of coming up, before you came to San Diego, coming up through the ranks, not having that, the night and day, right? You know what it's like to not have that support, and you know what it's like to have it. So that's awesome it's awesome that you were able to find that, because
Yeah.
so many women, and there's still a lot of places where there's only one or two females in their academy, and they're kind of hanging out with the boys, and they haven't quite, having that support from women is such a important part of our journey. I think a lot of women, had they had that support, maybe they wouldn't have quit.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, because boys' locker rooms, dude, that's a rough environment to be in. And to kind of come in like a girl and just, then you really have to know first of all, your standards, but also being like, no, you're not gonna sit on top of me, and you're not gonna treat me like, I'm just something that comes and go over here. I'm a part of this team as well. I can make jokes and funs and all of that, but you know what? Yeah, boys sometimes they're just a little. They're different. They're different.
Yeah,
that's just how nature made it. Like, that's how it is. And then that's such a testosterone high environment too, and we're all fighting each other.
Yeah, it definitely. It's definitely like a fight club kind of.
Yeah, no, exactly, right? And it becomes raw. But
yeah.
And you can always have those girls and you're like, yeah, let's go and talk about your chocolate that you ate another night, or give me a little tips on what are you doing these days, or how do you deal with this crap and now you're feeling like that, It's important.
No, I'm glad that we have role models like you out there, because I think as many as we can have, the better. I'm glad that you're doing good work for all your students and all your teammates, because again, we need more women like yourself. And just by you taking that risk and coming across to the other side of the world, to a place that you only visited, and chasing your passion and your desire, I think that's an inspiration on its own, because
Thank you.
you're welcome. Not a lot of people do that, not a lot of people are brave enough to go chase that dream. So you're a huge inspiration to me. You're a huge inspiration to all the women and girls and teammates and everybody you come in contact. And it was a pleasure having you on today. I'm glad we were able to get this together and
Thank
have a
you.
little chat. But I want to go ahead and thank everybody that was watching today. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. And you guys take care. Have a wonderful weekend, and I will talk to you soon, Sophia. Let's do some more fun stuff together.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Awesome.
And everybody out there who's listening, if you ever want to come train, just hit me up, Miss Grappling, here on Instagram, or hit me a messenger on Facebook. I always train. I'm always somewhere. So come and train.
Awesome. Take care. And
take care.
bye.
Bye-bye.